Welcome once again, my faithful, to this week's Torch News Roundup, number 9 edition, with your host, Johnny Torch. So the second trailer for the new Ghostbusters film came out this week. Yay! Right? I think this trailer was actually worse than the first one. It looks like they're doing their own take on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man at the end. We see Slimer here. Hooray! Slimer's back! We haven't even talked about Chris Hemsworth here much, but he seems to be doing a cross between Janine Melnitz and Louis Tully. In fact, I hope that's it. I hope he's the son of Louis and Janine. He could be Gene Melnitz. That would be something, huh? You heard it here first. Look, I'm just ambivalent about this movie. I really don't have a dog in this fight. I enjoy both of the original Ghostbusters films, and yes, Ghostbusters 2 isn't a bad film. It's not wildly original either, but it's fun seeing the guys together again. And I watched the cartoons as a kid, and I had all the toys, even the Firehouse playset, which was very cool. But I made peace with the fact that the Ghostbusters as we know them are over. In fact, it would probably be a great idea to make an animated film or series about the original characters. I know they did a new cartoon called The Extreme Ghostbusters like 15 years ago or something. I saw a few episodes of it, and it was alright. But there's no real need to go next generation in a cartoon. I mean, the characters are only as old as you draw them. But anyhow, as I said, I just don't really care. It doesn't look all that funny. I guess it's more colorful than the original, which isn't bad. The cast were about 50% moderately attractive. I'll let you decide which 50%. I'm not touching that one. So Jeff Johns and John Berg will apparently take the Kevin Feige role of overseeing the DC Cinematic Universe in an attempt to course-correct the path taken under Zack Snyder. Johns was quoted as saying he wants to bring more hope and optimism to the DC Universe, so let's hope that turns out to be the case. Moving right along, Margot Robbie has taken the initiative to get a solo Harley Quinn film made. Apparently she pitched this idea to the execs at WB and they liked it. It's supposed to include a largely female cast including Birds of Prey, maybe Batgirl, and possibly Poison Ivy. It's probably too soon to be thinking of a spin-off when Suicide Squad hasn't even come out yet, but Margot looks like the highlight of that film, so I'm all for more Harley. There was a similar rumor about the solo Batman film having virtually all of the Dark Knight's villains in one film. I don't usually deal in rumors, but this one I can believe since Warner seems to want to throw everything but the kitchen sink in their films. But I don't know, do you really want to see all of Batman's villains in one movie? I don't mind villain team-ups, or using some lesser villains as henchmen, but they need to keep from overdoing it. Ben Affleck has also been upgraded to executive producer of the film, so let's hope he has some decent input this time, at least more than he did in Batman vs. Superman, and Batman isn't portrayed as a wanton killer. Despite dropping out of negotiations to appear in the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming, it appears the talks are back on, and it's being reported that Michael Keaton is close to being signed for the new Spidey film, starring Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. I think Marvel probably offered him a one-and-done contract, which is what he probably wanted in the first place. So on the downside, no Sinister Six for Keaton, since presumably he'd play the Vulture. But the Vulture mantle has changed hands before, so if Keaton plays Adrian Toomes, they could always recast the Vulture as the Blackie Drago version later on for Sinister Six. And finally, we have Thor news for all you Ragnaroknrollers out there. With the film set to shoot this June, we have the complete cast list here. Tom Hiddleston returns as Loki, last seen impersonating Odin. Anthony Hopkins is also confirmed to return as Odin. It seems like it was touch and go for a while there as to whether they'd get him back. But the story demanded it, and I'm sure Hopkins was locked up under contract, so much speculation over nothing. Idris Elba returns as Heimdall. Apparently no Lady Sif since Jamie Alexander is busy filming her TV series Blind Spot. Also no mention of the Warriors 3 in the cast list. As for new faces, it's been confirmed that Cate Blanchett will be playing Hela, Norse goddess of death. Now it's going to be real interesting to see how they play her character, since Asgardians are being played here more as advanced alien beings, and not gods. I have to wonder if her character is going to be the MCU version of Death, and that Cate might tie into the Infinity War films with Thanos. It's also been confirmed that Tessa Thompson will be playing Valkyrie, which I generally hate race-changing characters, so I'm kind of disappointed that's the character they gave her. Jeff Goldblum will play Grandmaster, and here's the big one. Are you ready? Karl Urban as the Executioner. Now that is some great casting. Urban is a great actor, and I'm glad to see him make it in the MCU, and the Executioner seems made to order for him. There's no word on the Enchantress being cast, so they might be holding back on that info for now, or maybe they'll set her up for somewhere down the line. But yeah, this film is shaping up to be a doozy. I'm looking forward to it. Well, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think about this week's news in the comments section. This is Johnny Torch reminding you to keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.